Kail Lowry, I wanted to start with hers because her story was rather quick. But basically, over Mother's Day weekend, she did a little bit of an Ask Me Anything about being a single mom. And some of the questions or answers that she had put out there left me kind of scratching my head. I went to my channel members in our private section. I was like, y'all, do you understand what it is that she's saying here? Nobody understood what it was that she meant. It feels as though she is purposely trying to convolute the status of her relationship with her on and off again fiance, Elijah Scott, right now. So take a look at some of these things that people had written into her, right? So somebody asked her, how does a single mom pick herself up when she hit rock bottom, right? Kail responded by saying, the ish is hard. It takes everything in you to be a good mom, right? While dealing with emotional struggles, breakups, etc. I will never discredit the strength it takes to get through it. But that's the thing, we have to. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I know it all too well. And then she shared this meme that said, I hustle harder when my feelings are hurt. You will never find me where you left me at. So to me, I'm kind of feeling like, okay, like this is encouraging and everything, right? So I'll just leave it at that. But then when I scroll to the next one, this is the one that really kind of got me stumped and reaching out to my channel members for help interpreting. The next one, someone said, well, what about you? Are you a single mom? To which Kail responds, this is a loaded question. Yes and no. I'm the sole financial provider for 5.5 of my children, but some of my kids go to their dads 50% of the time. So it really depends on how you look at it. So here's my thing. I keep telling y'all, I was not a math major, right? I studied journalism and communications. So math majors, please, or people who are really good with numbers, how can you be the sole financial provider for 5.5 of your children? So to me, kind of sounds like she's saying, so hang on, let me pull up the chart. You know what? I need to be like, what is that thing over there, the Shade Room on Instagram, how they have like the chart for like the children and the moms and the this and that and the order of them. Hang on. I've got a photo of Kail with like all 7 of the children so that we don't leave anyone out. Where the heck is that picture? Hang on. I got it somewhere here. Where is it? Listen, this is her when she had 4, and we already thought that was a lot, right? Because it was 4 by 3. But then she went and added 3 more. Okay, I can't find that photo for now. But just imagine Rio, who are the other ones? Valley and Verse, right? Added to this image. So she says she is the sole. Sole means only. She is the only financial provider for 5.5 of her kids. So I know that she talks about this on her podcast all the time, that Javi and her split the expenses 50-50 for Lincoln. So she's definitely not the sole for him. We know that she thinks Chris is a deadbeat, right? She says Chris is a deadbeat, which, you know, I think is true. It seems true, right? So, and I think she is counting herself as the sole provider for those children. So those are, how many does she have with that man? 2, which leaves us with 3 children. The twins, no, 4 children. The twins, Rio and Isaac. We all know that Joe has money now, right? Joe has a lot of money. He's got a real estate empire. He is raking in the money. He is a 50-50 parent to Isaac. So I don't think it's Isaac either. So when she says she's a sole financial provider to 5.5 children, and I'm trying to count, I'm thinking she's talking about Lux. She's talking about Creed. She's talking about the twins. If she's talking about Rio, those are the 5 that I can picture. But where does the 0.5 come from? Is she saying that Joe has slacked as, you know, at his financial responsibilities, and so now she is helping, you know, to cover his costs? Is she saying that Javi did? Is it because now actually, you know what? Listen, I'm trying to workshop this out loud, y'all. Is it because now Javi lives in a different state, right? He's in Virginia Beach or something like that. And so she has which one? Oh, Lord. Which one does she have with Javi, y'all? Lincoln. So she has Lincoln the majority of the time. You know, so it went from 50-50 to her having him the majority of the time. So now she's upping how much she contributes to him. So that's what I'm thinking. The kids with Chris, the kids with Elijah, the kid with Javi 70% of the time. What about you guys? I wish I had the option to put up a multiple choice question here somewhere because I'm trying to figure it out, right? 5.5, I do not get it either. To me, it sounds like she's referring to the new situation with Lincoln now that Javi is out of state, right? And to me, when somebody asks you, are you a single mom? And you say it's complicated and you're supposedly engaged, you know, it's looking like you're no longer engaged either, right? Because I think that she could have said something like, and on top of that, I've got my fiance living with me and the children, and he is so heavily involved, because this is something that she had always been speaking very highly of Elijah for, you know, that he is extremely involved. He is the most, see, you know, we're all pulling out our fingers trying to make it make sense, right? So she's always bragged about how involved Elijah is. Elijah like really, really has been Mr. Mom, and now there's no mention of him, right? So that's what I'm getting. But here's the thing, Elijah has money. He doesn't have Kail money, right? However, he had the money to buy a home. He has the money to buy a truck. And then on top of that, I just, you know, for her to say she's the sole provider, like, are we really going to say now that Elijah does not at all financially contribute to these children? Like, he's always worked. He's always maintained his job. So why wouldn't he be financially providing to these children? Why would you have 3 kids? Why would you even have 5 kids? Right? You know, this is the thing. This is poor. Can I, do y'all have your children here? Can I swear? You know what? Let me just, you know what? I'll use an exchange. This is poor kitty management. To have 5.5 kids that you are the sole provider of is absolutely insane in this world full of birth control, right? Why would you have 2 kids with a man who doesn't have a pot to piss in, who lives in his grandma's attic? Then you go from that, and you think that in your 30s, you learned your damn lesson, right? Then you go find yourself a 20-year-old or a 21 or 22-year-old, and you go pop out 3 kids for him. And now you're saying that he's broke too, and he doesn't contribute to these kids either. What is that? I do not understand. What is that? Right? What is that? But here's the thing, Elijah, he has a job. You know, don't the trades pay like a good amount of money? Like, he works in some kind of like construction or something. So why wouldn't he be contributing to those children? I do not understand the 0.5. Exactly, Brie. Who are we dragging? I get the feeling that this is Javi. Oh, Lord have mercy. Acacia says, didn't he buy that home with his ex-wife, Elijah? Right? He had the money to qualify for a mortgage, which to me would mean he has the money to contribute to his children, right? Allison says Kail is counting Elijah as her half kid. Does that mean she's back with him? Yes, this is poor kitty management. Ladies, please do better. Do better. Do not have children for broke men. Don't do it. You deserve more. Your children, more importantly, deserve more than that. Do not do it. Especially not 5.5 children by various broke men. That is crazy to me. That is absolutely. The man doesn't have to be rich, but come on now. Come on, right? Yes. You know, a lot of y'all listen to me, you know, when you have your kids and whatnot. So I'm like, let me keep it cute. I do not want to traumatize anybody's children. Mariah says, I don't know why Kail had so many children knowing she wasn't in a stable relationship with any of her baby daddies. Like, why would you want kids? Exactly. I do not understand it. Like, my head is just like, it's mind blown at this concept, right? 2Snap says it's glutton for punishment. I agree. It is, you know, it truly is, you know, she's a glutton for punishment. What is the other one? Khloe Kardashian has a humiliation kink. Like, the girls are not well. They're not well at all. Brie says, yeah. And this is like the craziest argument to me, right? Like, it's just, why do that though? Why do that to the kids? Like, you cannot buy a relationship with the father, or a father that like the kids could look up to and admire. Because to me, when you say that 5.5 of them, you're doing everything for, like financially, emotionally, blah, 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 this is not giving them a good father figure, right? So money aside, it's not a great idea. Keisha says it's more, exactly. I do not get, thank God she took these tubes out, because she did not know how to manage having tubes. She was not acting right with them tubes, y'all. So thank God she took them out, because what the hell is this, y'all? Oh.